Johnny Murray here, and welcome back to a brand new tier list. Today, look, we're doing it again. I feel like I've done this a lot. I feel like I do this every year, but games come out every year, and I just love certain games more than others, and my opinions on genres changes a lot. I'm not gonna lie, because there's just so many different takes on genres. There's so many different innovations within genres every year, and this year's been interesting, especially recently with Expedition 33. There's a whole lot of debate. Is turn-based really as good as it sounds? So you're going to hear my opinions on all the genres right here. Spoiler alert, turn-based rocks. But anyway, we're going to get into it, but thank you all so much for tuning into the video. If you guys love video games, doesn't matter what you love, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, third-party, PC, VR, indie, whatever it may be, consider subscribing, share with your friends. I appreciate all the support you guys give me, especially the support here on this video right now. But with that being said, man, let's get into this genre ranking. And so as you see, I sorted all the ones that we're actually going to do into this category. I have separated fighting with 2D and 3D, and then same thing with platformers, 3D and 2D platformers, because in my opinion, those are two very different genres. So we're going to go ahead and get started with Battle Royale. Ain't for me. Not really a Battle Royale person at all. Just not for me. I used to be. Not anymore. Absolutely not. Fighting 2D. This one's a hard one because, I mean, if I think, I love fighting games. I really do. Mortal Kombat is one of my favorite franchises. Injustice 2 is my favorite fighting game of all time. I love Smash Brothers. I love Street Fighter. I love Tekken. I love Virtua Fighter. I love so many of them, but I don't know if it can go in my GOAT category because they're usually not my favorite games of the year, and they're usually not the ones I'm like always dying to play, but when I play them, I love them. I love a large quantity of them, and they really are a genre that is so just unique because the things you get in fighting games you can't get in any other genres. You know, the roster, the super moves, all that stuff, the stages. Like, fighting games are just so unique to that genre, and you just gotta love them. But I'm not gonna put a GOATed. This tier GOATed is going to be like my top 5 genres, like the ones that almost like there is a 75% chance it's gonna end up in my top 50 of all time, or there is usually it's 100% of the time like in my S tier excitement, or just ones that historically have always been my favorite. That is gonna be my GOATed tier. And so yeah, we're gonna move on to 3D platformers. That's tough. That's really tough. Because, I mean, if I think about my top 50 of all time, we got Ratchet and Clank in there. We got, I'm trying to think of other 3D platformers in my top 50. Hang on. I'm going to open up a separate. We got Ratchet and Clank. That might Crash Bandicoot 4, Hi-Fi Rush. Yeah, that honestly looks like it. I think I'm gonna go with Love. I love 3D platformers. They're super special. The art styles, the music, the bosses, so many things. Do they end up becoming my favorite games of the year? Typically not. Are they super consistent? Yes. Do I get really excited for them? Yes. I just don't know if I can put them in my GOAT category. But I do absolutely love 3D platformers. And by the way, I say this in every video that I do of this topic. I don't really like doing these videos because I truly love every genre. And the way I personally play games, I try to play as many games as possible, regardless of the genre or platform that it's on. And I always say this, that no matter what it is, keep an open mind, give it a fair shot, and try and go in with as little expectations as possible, because games are meant to be an experience, and you never know when an experience may hit you a way that something else doesn't. Every game is unique in their own way, and sometimes things will surprise you. If I look at my majority of my top 10 favorite games of all time, most of them I did not expect to hit the way that they did. Ghost of Tsushima, I literally almost forced myself to play because I was just like, hey, I've never really played a samurai game before. I'll give it a shot. Ended up becoming my favorite game of all time. Returnal, I literally told my friend I'm waiting till Black Friday because I don't think it's worth $70. Returnal ended up being my second favorite game of all time. You never know. So no matter what the genre is, like true, like in my heart and in my mind, I think every genre can go into GOATed. It just depends on the game. But for this video, obviously we're gonna be putting in tiers and doing all these things. But MOBA, you know, I'm not really a fan of MOBA, but there is one game I absolutely love in MOBA, and that is Pokemon Unite. Absolutely love that game. So I'm gonna put not a fan. Real-time strategy, RTSs, this is like your Age of Empires, this is your Civilization, stuff like that. And for me, these are just not for me. I can't think of any RTS that I've really, like, truly gotten into. I do love strategy, and I've been getting more into strategy, I will say that, but not real-time strategy. And so we're just gonna keep that there. Action games. So this is like your Metal Hellsinger, this is your Space Marine 2, this is your Bayonetta, your Doom, this is your Returnal even. Action games slap. They really slap. This is your sometimes they're considered hack and slash as well. So for this one, we're not gonna do hack and slash because we have hack and slash as a separate category. When I'm looking at strictly action games, I think I love them. There's not a ton of them in my top 50 of all time, but they're usually, sometimes there are some of my favorites throughout the year. They're really exciting. There's a large variety of them, so I really enjoy that. So yeah, I'm gonna put it in love. Hero shooters, I'm gonna put it's aight. It's aight. I think there is definitely a negative, just general perception of what hero shooters are and how good it is. And it's just because there were so many bad ones. But when you look at the good ones, when you look at Overwatch, Paladins, when you look at Marvel Rivals as of recently, dude, they're really, really fun when they're done right. It's just unfortunately there's not a lot of good ones, but when there is, they're really fun. So for me, I'm gonna go, it's like stealth. I'm a fan of stealth. I don't love stealth majority of the time, but I'm a fan of it. Splinter Cell, Assassin's Creed, Metal Gear, those W's. Freaking awesome games. Outside of that, there's not a lot that I can say I truly love. Hitman's fun, but again, I don't really love Hitman. So for me, stealth, I am a fan. I enjoy the games. I always look forward to them. I know they're good. It is a good genre. So for me, I'm gonna say fan. Open world. I've said it multiple times. I prefer linear over open world. So I am going to go love with it. I am going to go love. And I think what it is just oftentimes, I am not the person where every game I have to do every side quest. I have to get every collectible. I have to explore more than do the main quest. That is just not the person I am. I do that when I really love a game. For something like Ghost of Tsushima, like Immortals Fenyx Rising. I mean, some games, maybe they're not even open world. I do that when I really, really love a game. It's just not very often, but you're still getting great story. You're still getting all the great aspects you get out of just a linear game. It's just more open, but I think I prefer the linear over open world. So just for that reason alone, I am going to go love with it. Puzzle games. I'm going to go not... I don't know. I'm gonna go not a fan. There's only a couple puzzle games that I can think of that I like. I mean, Tetris is technically a puzzle game, but I consider it more like arcade in a way. The big puzzle game on my mind right now is Blueprints. Blueprints is a banger, man. Blueprints is so good, but even then, it's not completely puzzle. It's more a roguelike game than it is a puzzle game. And to be fair, if it wasn't a roguelike, I probably wouldn't like it as much as I do. And so for me, I'm going to go not a fan. But that is not a diss on the genre. I think the genre is really good. There are a lot of good stuff, like Portal, of course, Talos Principle, all that stuff. Some really good stuff. So I am going to go puzzle. The thing with like stealth and puzzle, I know they're in two separate categories, but the thing with those genres is I much prefer when those things are implemented in your open world games, in your action adventure games, in your RPG. I love when RPGs and action adventures have that stealth, like Assassin's Creed. I love when there are puzzles like Uncharted shoved into your action adventure games. That is where stealth and puzzle really shine for me. But for me, I think stealth as just a separate genre shines more than just puzzle as a separate genre. So take that how you will. Simulations, not really a fan. I've enjoyed it. Farming Simulator, I've had my fair share. If you want to include Planet Coaster, you can. I'm a very specific simulation person. Like, it has to be a very specific simulator for me to be into it. But again, not really this. There are a lot of fun ones out there. Arcade. I think arcade, it's aight. It's aight. I enjoy my time. I find it fun. You know, when I'm talking about like Pac-Man, when I'm talking about Dig Dug, when I'm talking about Frogger, even like something like Tetris. And personally, I consider arcade games where you just like load into these rounds over and over and over again, try to get a high score every time. Like, to me, that is like an arcade game as well. And so for me, I enjoy it. I'm never like super duper excited, or it's not something I stay with a lot, but I have fun, and they're really good. So I'm gonna go inside. Survival horror, that is going to be our first goated tier genre. We'll see how things play out, but this might be my number one. I'm not really. We'll have to see how everything else goes, but when I look at some of my favorite games of all time, I mean, you name it. We got Alan Wake 2, which is my third favorite game of all time. We have Resident Evil 2 in my top 20. We have Resident Evil 3 as well in there. We have A Plague Tale. We have Dead Space in there. We have so many survival horror games. I loved Silent Hill 2. It didn't quite reach my top 50, but I loved that game. That game was awesome. Chronos: The New Dawn is looking really cool. The Medium is really good. Survival horror is just like, it's an unbreakable formula. That over the shoulder, just really grounded, gritty combat and gameplay, insane, crazy stories, insane worlds, awesome visuals, amazing audio and music and atmosphere. You're getting something in survival horror that you really can't find in any other genre. And survival horror is so good that there are so many games where they kind of put in these horror or like scary elements, and then afterwards you're like, man, this studio would cook if they made a survival horror game, because that's how good the genre is. It's just such a addicting and awesome feeling when you get that fire survival horror game. And for me, it just hits every note every single time. I honestly can't even remember the last time I didn't love a survival horror game. Like, there's just so many good ones, and yeah, especially in this generation, there's been an abundance of them. Turn-based RPG. So, here's where this kind of conversation is going to go in. This is kind of the whole purpose of why I made this video. We're ranking genres, not gameplay formats. For me, turn-based RPGs are going to go in love. I think there are a lot of turn-based RPGs, whether we're talking like Midnight Suns, whether we're talking like XCOM, if that's even an RPG, I'm not really sure. We're talking like Super Mario RPG. We're talking Mario plus Rabbids. We're talking a bunch of different things. The fact that it's a turn-based RPG is not what makes me love the genre. It's the combat itself, right? Turn-based combat is top tier. If we were doing combat, if we were doing gameplay tier list, turn-based would be in goated, because I personally love turn-based combat. So many of games in my top 50 have turn-based, and I think if you do it right, it is some of the best combat. Expedition 33 that just came out, which kind of sparked this whole conversation, I think that is top 5 best combats in any video game ever, and I truly mean that. Turn-based RPGs as a genre, when I'm looking at everything and when I look at the games that I love and get excited for, it's not quite in my goated tier. But this is one of the most consistent genres, and it is one of the most unique genres, and so I have to give credit. But I think as a genre, it's in love. As a combat system, it's goated, but that's not what we're ranking here. So for me, it's gonna go love. Choices and consequence. I'm a fan of these games. This is like the Corey, Until Dawn. I mean, this isn't really fit the bill, but things like Dragon Age and Mass Effect as well. Those, when you could just make an abundance of choices and just see everything play out for yourself, and then you get to that finale when all your choices kind of reach a full circle moment, and you basically see your results at the end. I'm a really big fan of those. There's not a lot of them. There's not a lot of good ones, but when they hit, man, they're really fun. Corey was like one of my favorite games of the year that came out. I think the game is really, really good. First-person shooter. this is a tough one because for me, first-person shooter, I think of Call of Duty. I think of Titanfall. I think of maybe even Metroid Prime in a way. Not really. That's more of a Metroidvania. To me, I don't see this as Doom and stuff like that. Even though it is technically a first-person shooter, I consider Doom more of an action game than a first-person shooter. But it still does encompass that. And it's really hard not to put it in love because there are so many good ones. Titanfall 2 is my favorite first-person shooter of all time. I'm really not the biggest first-person fan in general. I shouldn't say not the biggest fan. I mean, I love first-person games. I prefer third-person any day of the week, but first-person does hit a lot. Fallout, even though it's an RPG, it's not really a first-person shooter, but it is first-person shooting. You know, it really depends. If you want to include things like Doom and Fallout and stuff like that, then yeah, we can put it in love. If you're not, then I would say fan. For me, I'm not going to include those. To me, Fallout is an RPG and Doom is an action game. But I can see the argument either way. But for me, I am going to put it at fan because I still really like them, no matter how we look at it. But racing games, I'm a fan. I'd say I'm a fan. I like enough to say I'm a fan of them. Forza Horizon, now Mario Kart, because Mario Kart World got me so hype, I'm not going to lie. Need for Speed, I love that franchise. There is a lot of fun racing out there. So for me, I'm going to go fan. Metroidvania, this is going to be our second goated. This is one of my favorite genres. Dude, it is so unlikely for me to play a Metroidvania and not love it. Like, almost every Metroidvania I've played has ended up getting in my top 50. Ori, Prince of Persia, Metroid Dread, Metroid Prime. Dude, the list goes on and on. I love Metroidvania so much. And they're so consistent. We don't get a ton of them, but almost all of them are great in their own way. Sometimes it's the gameplay, sometimes it's the story, sometimes it's the visual, sometimes it's the music, sometimes it's all of it. Metroidvanias are really, really good, and for me, I absolutely love them every single time. Action RPG, for me, this is goated. I mean, you can really call it whatever, like, figure out what you want. If this is your Fallout and your Skyrim, there you go. If this is your Dragon Age and Mass Effect, there you go. If this is your Witcher, your Baldur's Gate, then there you go. Those are technically action RPGs. Again, this genre tier list really comes down to what you define the genre as and what games fit in that bill. For me, action RPG is probably going to be goated. Unless, I mean, let me look at all the other ones just to make sure. Yeah, for me, that this is a goated genre. Like, there's just so many, like, this is almost the video game genre. You know what I mean? Like, every game is pretty much an action RPG to some level, because RPGs are just like the video game genre, and there's a lot of action in a lot of games. So there you go. But yeah, for me, I think it's gonna go goated. Yeah, it's just a banger. MMOs ain't for me. Absolutely not. I don't think there's one MMO I like. So sorry there. Horror. Now this is horror, not survival horror. So we're talking like Five Nights at Freddy's here. We're talking like all those Steam games, all that stuff, Outlast, stuff like that. For me, I'm still a fan of horror, just because horror, again, it's just so unique. Like you can't find it anywhere else. Like horror is just a genre in any kind of media, not just games, books, movies, like music, even like all that. Great. But for me, I'm gonna go fan. Looter shooters, I'm gonna put not a fan because the only one I like is Borderlands. It's the only one I like. And I mean, unless you count Godfall, it's not a looter shooter. It's a looter, but it's not a looter shooter. I'm just not really a fan of looters. But Borderlands, Godfall, Destiny 1 was okay. Did not like Destiny 2 though. Rhythm games, bro. I'm gonna go fan because there's not enough of them. There's not enough of them. But man, do I love rhythm games. The fact that Rhythm Heaven is coming back, dude, oh, dude, gets me so emotional. Dude, I'm so hyped for that. I'm so ready for Rhythm Heaven to be back. One of my favorite things about the Plucky Squire, I know it's a random game, but was that rhythm mini game that you got to do. Just so fire. Beat 'em up games, dude. Again, it's so close, but like, I don't feel like there's enough of them is the problem. I'm gonna go fan as well. I love Shredder's Revenge, and I'm really looking forward to Marvel Cosmic Invasion. But I also love Streets of Rage, stuff like that. I love the beat 'em up Yakuza games. Yeah, I really am a fan of those. There's just not enough of them, I feel like, anymore. So for me, I'm gonna go fan. Hack and slash. I'm gonna go love. I'm gonna go love for this. I think Devil May Cry. I think God of War. I think Ninja Gaiden. Even Bayonetta in terms of gameplay. I wasn't really a big fan of Bayonetta 3, but the gameplay was awesome. I even think of something like, even though it's not really hack and slash, you know, you get kind of hints of it in something like Dragon Age or Hi-Fi Rush is hack and slash. That's also a fire one. So for me, I'm gonna go love. There is enough of them, and I get excited enough for me to put it in love. Third-person shooters. Again, if you want to include survival horror as third-person shooter, then it's gotta go goated. But for me, I'm considering this like Fortnite and Rogue Company. If you've ever played that, for me, I'm considering this like, I don't know, just not survival horror games, pretty much. So for me, I am gonna go third-person shooters. So there you go. Fighting 3D. I think it's alright. It's alright. It's fun. It's nowhere near 2D fighting games, but it's alright. I still enjoy my time with it sometimes, depending on the game. 2D platformers. I'm gonna go fan. I don't think 2D platformers are as good as 3D platformers, but they still slap. I think for me personally, I don't get as excited for them as I do 3D platformers or other genres, but they still slap. There are some really, really good ones. And again, I like when 2D platformers put into things. So like Metroidvanias, it's not just a 2D platformer. That's not what makes a Metroidvania. But the 2D platforming in those is really, really good as well. Survival games. Dude. The problem with survival games is it requires such a commitment. For me, I think I'm gonna go It's Alright. I love Ark. Minecraft was fun in its days, you know. I'm gonna go Alright. The Forest is also a fun one. Stranded Deep was fun at one point. Yeah, I'm gonna go It's Alright. Action adventure is gonna go. It's gonna go goated, and I do think that is my favorite genre. Even though survival horror is like just on an insane run, action adventure to me is like just how I look at every game. You know, characters, story, linear, music, just everything. Sometimes it's not even linear. Sometimes there is an open world action adventure game like Ghost of Tsushima. But I'm looking at God of War Ragnarok. I'm looking at, of course, Spider-Man. Things like Just Cause. Just so many things. Dragon Age, The Veilguard. Uncharted. So many, man. Just banger after banger. Action adventure is one of the GOATs. Like, no contest. Yeah. Souls-like. You know, I've gone back and forth. I would have... Man, that's tough. I'm going to go fan. But I wouldn't be surprised if within the next 2 years, I'm at love. Because here's the thing. Souls games are so weird. Like, I have a love-hate relationship with Souls games. Not really. Just more of a love and, like, don't appreciate Souls games. When I play them, I have such a blast. I get addicted to them. I think they're really, really great games. I just don't really get excited for Souls games. You know what I mean? Like, when a Souls game's announced, I'm like, okay, it's another Souls game. Maybe I'll play it. Maybe I won't. But oftentimes when I do play it, I end up loving it. Black Myth Wukong, loved it. Expedition 33, even though it's not a Souls game, it has a lot of Souls elements, and I love that about it. Sekiro is one of my favorites as well. And so there is a lot of Souls things that I love. I just don't, like, I'm not very consistent in my love of Souls games. See, but it's so hard because they're so good. For me, I'm gonna go fan. I don't think it's quite reached my love yet, but that's what I'm gonna go with. Sport games, low key, I'm a fan of sports games. Whether it's the Mario spin-offs, whether it's any kind of spin-offs, whether it is your Madden or WWE, I have fun with them. I'm not gonna lie. I don't play like NBA or NHL or FIFA or any of those, but I do play like Madden and WWE, and then I play a bunch of the Mario spin-offs and stuff like that. I have fun. They're fun. Roguelike is going to be our 5th and final top 5 genre. Again, every time I play a roguelike, dude, I just feel like it reaches my top 50. Like I said, Blueprints, as of recently, slapped. Hades 2 slaps. Returnal is my 2nd favorite game of all time. Dude, roguelikes are just, oh, dude, they're so cool. They're so unique. They just give you such a, kind of like a dopamine run, if that's the right word. Is dopamine the word for like satisfaction, right? Like when you do something that's so satisfying, you're like, man, I want to do that again and again. It's so good. They can tell good stories. They have amazing gameplay, good music, stuff like that, visuals, art styles. You can get creative with it. I love it. These are my top 5 genres without a doubt. I think if I was to follow it, I would put 2D fighting and 3D platformers in there as well. But I think in terms of my top 5, these are my goats right here. And this is my tier list ranking. So let me know what y'all think down below in the comment section. I'd love to talk about it. And what do you classify as certain genres? Like, what games would you put in certain things? Would you put Doom in the first-person category, or would you put it in action? What would you do there? Third-person shooter, do you consider Uncharted a third-person shooter, or do you only consider third-person shooter like Fortnite, stuff like that? Let me know. I'd love to talk about it to get some clarification on this. But anyway, this is my tier list. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Johnny Moore out. Peace.